This is historically rooted and sociologically rooted questions. This is not a single homogeneous Muslim questions. There are multiple Muslim questions. There are layered Muslim questions. Well, as far as the recent politics are concerned, which is also historically rooted, it is something new that is emerging post 2014 or post 2019. Well, the issues of Babri Masjid, the Ayodhya dispute, the issues of Kashmir, and then issues of recent citizenship amendment bill. This all has a history. As far as Muslim questions in India is concerned, the two major provinces of India, Assam, West Bengal, and of course Punjab, Indian Punjab. There are these three provinces suffered a lot in terms of partisans. Partisans has always been an elite Muslim project, right? As far as Bengali Muslims are concerned, they are sociologically rooted in the rural sociology of Bengal, agrarian community, lower caste sociologically at the margins. Partisans have never taken seriously the issues of Muslim marginalizations, and if you look at the discourse of 1930s, 1940s, the politics of Muslim politics, the so-called Muslim politics of undivided India, those Muslim politics is not based on social justice. It was issues of representation of elites, I would see. But of course they are talking about representations, but it's a representation of a particular elite group, and the elite group had hardly taken the issues of Muslims, those who are sociologically at the margins. So in that sense, the sometime which we generally understand as a Muslim questions may not always a Muslim questions. It's maybe sometime elite questions. Well, Maulana Azad and then Hussain Ahmed Madni, the idea of composite nationalism, of course, it's a very sort of an inclusive idea of nationalism, which to a certain extent is good. But on the other hand, I'm reminded of a quote of Dr. Ambedkar that while submitting a draft of the constitutions to Constituent Assembly, the quote is like, we are entering into the era of contradictions where we'll have political equality but not social and economic equality. So in that sense, the Maulana Azad and then the whole the Muttahida Qawmiyat and the composite nationalism, they have taken care of the idea of composite nationalism. In a cultural sense is good, seriously, but they have they have ignored the idea of social justice. Well, as far as the Muslim politics was concerned, we cannot call Azad as a Muslim leader, but Azad is basically a Congress leader coming from a Muslim background with a strong Islamic traditions. It would be injustice to call Azad as a Muslim leader. Azad was, of course, a Congress leader, very secular leader, but the difference between Azad and Dr. Ambedkar was that Dr. Ambedkar could conceptualize, could link the idea of backward class or Dalits in the perspective of social justice, whereas the Muslim elite leaderships, maybe because of partisan trauma, because of multiple other factors, we don't see that the issues of social justice playing a central role. Well, maybe I think sociologically is different. Kashmir has a different history, right? They always had Kashmir, the landscape, the strategic locations, the sociology of Kashmiri Muslims. They used to had a very nice time with Kashmiri Pandit and the Muslims over there. Whereas in Bengal, the history is different. The land question is absolutely different. Going back to the British India, the entire land questions. It was like the Muslim peasant and the Hindu landlords. The asymmetric relationship, and that the class questions. Of course, the class questions is basically also indirectly a Muslim questions.
Okay.
Generally, the way we understand Muslim questions, we always negate the issues of everyday life, the class questions, the issues of social justice. I think Kashmiri Muslims and Bengali Muslims sociologically they are different terrain. Of course, the presence of state, the violence on Kashmiri Muslims is there. Also, it registered in the global media as well. Look at the massacre of Nelly. It is in Assam, and it's largely in the time late 80s or 80s, early 80s, when Indira Gandhi was prime minister, and during the Congress regime there was a huge massacre against Muslims. It's a genocide kind of thing, and more than recorded 3,000 Bengali Muslims died. And we don't see any much literature on it, much hullabaloo in academia or media. In that sense, you know, of course, I'm nowhere negating the violence on Kashmiris. This is very important. But also, equally, there are violence on the Bengali Muslims in Assam as well as in Bengal. But that doesn't attract much international, news. That's because they don't have that cultural capital or social capital to capitalize that marginalization and that violence. So in a way, in the larger discourse, Muslim discourse, the lower caste Muslims or vernacular Muslims or Muslims at the rural Bengal or rural Assam, they are missing from the much from the debate which we call so-called Muslims questions debate in India.
Okay.